Hey everybody, Sharon Boo here, and I'm back. I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded. I haven't uploaded in about 10 or 11 months. A lot has gone on, but I'm back for now, and I have a story time. This is about some weirdos that I met in Vegas about 10 and a half years ago. This took place in December of 2012. And a little backstory, I grew up in LA and I live in San Diego now. So I've been going to Vegas since I was a child. It's a very quick flight and about a 4 to 6 hour drive. So really not that far. This particular trip, I went with 3 of my friends, and it was for New Year's Eve. Now this story actually takes place a couple days before New Year's Eve, and we were gonna see one of my favorite DJs, Laid Back Luke. He spins a lot of house and EDM. Me and my 3 friends, so the 4 of us, get to this club. It was the Haze nightclub at Aria. We get there pretty early. It's like 11 o'clock, which for Vegas time is pretty damn early because a lot of the clubs in Vegas don't close until about 5 or 6 a.m. and Laid Back Luke was not going to come on until 1, maybe 2. So we get to the club and I'm with my friend, who we're going to call Leah. And Leah is very outspoken and opinionated, and you'll see more of this throughout the story. We're just in the club. I decide not to drink. That's a reason why, despite this being over 10 years ago, I remember so much. I remember that this guy came up to Leah and I, and he was pretty short. He was about 5'4", and Leah's around the same height. I'm a little bit shorter. And he was talking to us, and I was polite, but I wasn't really thinking about him. I wasn't really feeling him. And then he walked away. But Leah, she had a very visceral response to this man talking to her, and she was like, "Oh, how dare he? He's short." I'm like, "Girl, okay, so what?" I don't know if he said something to offend her. I mean, this was, like I said, this was over 10 years ago, and he wasn't really checking for me. He was checking more for her. So maybe he did or said something to her that she really did not like. She really did not like the fact that this dude had the audacity to approach her, being 5'4". The night it goes on, there's this other guy. He approaches my friends and I, and he's wearing this ill-fitting suit. This suit was like way too big for him. He was swimming in it, and he told me that his name is Sid, which is the name he gave me. I'm not gonna give him a pseudonym because you'll see his behavior was out of pocket, so I'm gonna light him up. Sid told me that he was a club promoter and he could get us into Hakkasan or XS, and he gave me his card, and then he proceeded to hug me. I don't know if he asked to hug me or if he just hugged me, but either way, I know that I begrudgingly hugged him back. And then he proceeds to squeeze me really tight and then try to pick me up in the club. And then I get super stiff and I start kicking my legs, and I'm like, "Put me down, put me down!" Then he puts me down. And I'm thinking, you got some nerve. You fancy yourself a promoter and you smell and you're behaving in a very uncouth fashion. I don't care if it is in a nightclub. If you are a promoter and you're supposed to be promoting and representing your business, you best behave in a more professional manner. And why do you smell? Why do you smell like BO? What are you promoting? A landfill? A porta potty? You're not a very good representative of your business. if you smell like an unwashed ass, and you're acting like one too. That was weird. I'm thinking, I'm not gonna go anywhere where he's gonna be. I don't care if we do get a tape. Fast forward a little bit later, Laid Back Luke was finally on, so it's more crowded, and there's this guy who we've been dancing near each other the whole night. And I remember his name was Dustin, and that was the name that he gave me. Certain people are not going to get pseudonyms here. And I remember Dustin was tall, like 5'11" or 6 feet. He was a very clean-cut white guy. He looked like an Abercrombie and Fitch model, like an all-American guy. So we started dancing together, and we got closer, and then we kissed on the mouth. It was no tongue, just a dry kiss. And then we exchanged phone numbers, and I think this was towards the end of the night. So he was cool at first. By now it's about 3 or 4 a.m. and I'm tired. I'm ready to go back to the room and go to bed. And then look who comes around. It's the short guy. He makes his rounds. He comes back to me and Leah and says in a snotty tone of voice, "You're missing out." And then Leah says, "If we're missing out, why do you keep following us around?" Again, she is thoroughly disgusted at the fact that this short guy would even have the nerve to talk to us. I ask her for the room key. My other friends, they want to stay so they can possibly get a photo op with Laid Back Luke, but I was over it. I was ready to go. So we were staying at the Monte Carlo, which is now Park MGM. I was walking over there, and then I get in the elevator, and this drunk as hell guy comes in, and I'm by myself, and he's staggering, and he tries to talk to me while we're in the elevator, and I can tell that he's drunk by the way he's moving and the way that he's talking. He's slurring his words, and he says that he's from Pakistan, and I'm thinking, I don't care, I'm trying to get to my room. And then he gets closer and tries to kiss me. So then I push him off, and I'm like, "Get away!" He falls back. He's like, kind of like, stunned. And then I just get off on the next floor. Okay, I don't know if that was my floor. At this point, I don't care. I did not want to be near this weird as fuck dude. Eventually, I get back to the room, and I change into my PJs and brush my teeth and wash my face, take my contacts out, all that stuff. And then I notice that my phone is lighting up. And it's Dustin, the guy from the club who I kissed. And he says, "I'm staying at Rio if you want to stop by." And I responded with, "No, I'm about to go to bed." Eventually, my friends come back, and Leah is still talking shit about the short guy. She was saying stuff like, "You need to be at least 5'9" to ride this, and I've had bigger and better, so I don't know why he thinks that he can talk to me, and I will not hesitate to tell a person to back the fuck up if they're in my space, and if you're too close to me, then I'll hit you in the face." And you're just like going on and on with the short guy, and yeah, I thought it was funny, but I'm like, was he really that bad? He was just short and you didn't like him. I mean, there was much worse behaved men that night, okay? Trust me. So then I told her about the Pakistan guy, and she was like, "Be careful, they view women as property." I mean, which is, she's not wrong. I told her that that Dustin guy had texted me between 4 and 5 in the morning and asked me to come back to his room, and she's like, "If he wants to see you, he can see you in the daytime." We went to bed, and I remember the next morning we got up, and Dustin and I texted a little bit, but we never actually saw each other again. So basically, you know, that was all that happened. The 4 weirdos that I encountered in Vegas. Every time I go to Vegas, something weird happens, especially if I go there and I'm single. When I've gone there with a boyfriend or husband, there's no stories like that. When I got back home to San Diego, I told my mom about it because back then I was living with my mom, and my mom and I are very close. And she told me, "What do you expect? You're in a club in Vegas on New Year's Eve weekend. If you want to be around well-behaved people, go to a library." That is my story. About 10 years after this story, I did meet another guy in Vegas, and that's a very weird story as well, but I don't know if I'll share that one or not, because that might make me look bad too. But anyway, in the meantime, stay happy, healthy, and safe. Bye.